Don't know what happened there.
You just played it, so that's fine.
I just played it. How's everybody doing?
How's everybody doing? That's a good question.
Yeah. How about you, champ? How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. Let's see. We got Cobb's here. How you doing, Cobb? And Mr. Wonderful, Travis is here. Getting ready for PowerCon with this Hexastacks. And Aaron from Payne's Toy Samples just popped in. What's up, Aaron? Nice of you to join us. Mr. Wonderful says he's stacking. Yeah, he's stacking cheeseburgers down his pie hole is what he's stacking. I know. I'm going to get the PowerCon and he's going to beat me up because he's an ex-wrestler, you know. He's going to like suplex me or something because I keep giving him a hard time.
Oh, I thought you were going to say because you were eating all his cheeseburgers.
No, I only eat all your cheeseburgers.
That's true, you do. It's kind of upsetting.
It's all good, man.
Oh, it's all good. You can't just say that. It's not for you to decide.
I can say it's all good.
It's not for you to decide.
Is it all good?
It's all good, I guess.
It's all good.
So what have you been up to? I haven't seen you in a long time.
You know, I'm still digesting country style ribs that I made. So.
Oh, and you didn't invite me.
I did invite you.
You're lying.
Travis is saying, no, my rumor has it my son wants to go and Kid Loki cosplay. So he might be there at the booth on Sunday. That's awesome, dude.
That would be sick.
Yeah. So as I was saying, my Cosmic Legions got delayed by FedEx, of course. So I didn't get my Cosmic Legions today. So
not fun.
Yeah. Had one thing to look forward to today, other than having ribs, and only got to have ribs. But I guess that was okay because I got to spend 10 minutes with you watching you eat.
Hey man, eating's good.
Yeah. So what'd you do today?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Nothing more than usual.
Nothing more than usual. When's the full moon?
Tonight.
Is it tonight? That's what I thought.
Tonight's the supermoon.
Tonight is the supermoon. Awesome. Have to go out and see if I can get a picture of it if it's not cloudy like it's been for the last few days.
Yeah, maybe you'll see a UFO.
I will see a UFO because I always do.
Perfect segue into the episode.
You know I always see UFOs. You want to get started?
I think we should get started, honestly.
You want to get started? All right, let's get started.
I think we should get started.
All right. Invasion Action Crick. All right, so tonight we're going to discuss some aliens, UFOs, and the such, or as James LaFleur says, and the like. It's got 1 million followers and 1 million views on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube and everywhere else. So tell your cats, your brothers, your sisters, your cousins.
Yeah.
All right. That's enough of James LaFleur. All right, so the first topic we're going to discuss is the Greys, which is probably the most common alien when people think of aliens outside of, Predator and the actual alien from Alien. What are those ones called? Forgot. Drawing a blank.
Xenomorph.
Xenomorph, thank you. So the Greys are what was supposedly found with Area 51 wreckage and the Betty and Barney Hill abduction story. The Greys are the ones that supposedly abducted them. And they're the typical slender, short, gray or green colored aliens with the almond shaped eyes. And what are you doing?
What? Nothing.
Why are you Luke Skywalker?
I'm not doing anything. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but your Lego game's playing.
Yeah, I know. This is for the background while we talk about aliens.
It got me all thrown off. I was watching the lightsaber action. Forgot how much fun that game was.
We got aliens in here, though. Look at these aliens. That's an alien.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
So The Greys. Back to the Greys.
Grays.
They're often referred as the Zeta Reticulans too, because
The Zeta Reticulans. Why is that?
of the area of space that they come from.
Is that the star system?
I'm not sure if it's the star system or if it's the sector of space that they actually come from. I'm not sure about
Like
that.
the nebula, yeah.
But those are the ones. They're usually the most common ones that people talk about. The ones that are usually involved in the
The
alien
abductions.
and all that. So,
And now, have you ever been abducted?
real quick, let's say hi to Kelly from Odd Frog Entertainment. What's up, brother?
Aloha, Kelly.
Have I ever been abducted?
Have you ever been abducted?
No, I've never been abducted. At least not that I
No?
remember.
Now, would you like to be abducted?
Would I like to be abducted?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd like to have my anus probed or anything like that, but I wouldn't mind boarding a spaceship. I think
That would be pretty cool.
I mean, I'd like to, leave the planet someday and not in this physical form. Let's put it that way. I mean, we're all bound to leave at some point in time, but
Someday.
it'd be cool to, head out to Mars or,
Jupiter.
the Palladian star system or something like that,
Pleiades would be sick.
Yeah. I mean, I originate in the Pleiades, so I mean, we have
You do, obviously.
We have starseed DNA in our souls, so that's okay. But we'll cover the Pleiades later.
Someday.
Got anything else about the Greys?
No, actually, I don't really know too much about the Greys. They're not my area of expertise.
They're not your area of expertise. These are the guys that usually you see driving the, according to the alien theorists, they're the ones that fly like the actual flying saucer type spaceships, the ones that are more circular or round in shape.
Mm-hmm.
That's the ship supposedly that the Greys usually are cruising the galaxy in. They probably got flames painted on the side of them and stuff. Really
like
cool.
A hot rod.
Yeah, STP stickers and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so moving on, we'll go to the Pleiadians. Look at that.
Pleiadians, beautiful.
Yeah.
Now this is your homeland.
Yes, this is my homeland.
Tell us about your homeland.
So the Pleiadians are kind of like if you want to associate them with something known in our world today, like the elves of Lothlorien would basically be what the Pleiadians are like.
Lothlorien. What is Lothlorien?
That's where Galadriel lives.
Oh, okay. Okay.
They're very elf-like. They're very
Nordic.
Light beings. They
angelic.
Yeah, they have a mass to them, but they are very almost like, how like in the Lord of the Rings, the elves actually kind of had that glow to them. That's how the Pleiadians are. They're very very intelligent, very creative. It's all music and
like the Valar.
Yeah, architecture and peace and love and harmony.
What is the architecture of the place?
The architecture of the place? It's kind of like it's very curved, right? There's no sharp edges. Everything is very curved, very flowing. It's all structured, kind of like a concrete appearance. It's all like very light gray, very light colors,
kind of
marble-ish color. Yeah, kind of Greek looking, but it's very flowy, right? And the whole cities where the cities are like, there's not like a bunch of buildings. There's just one massive building that kind of flows around into different places, right? But they don't have like stores or anything like that, right? There's no food. It's all, they are basically
light energy.
Yeah, they are basically self-enveloped beings.
They filter feed off of the sun.
Yep, pretty much. All the light and energy that's in the star system, which is, they got the seven sisters in the Pleiades.
They do have the 7 sisters. That's a lot of stars.
Yep. So I mean, all that energy and all the stuff is just, they just live off of that. They don't actually need any kind of true sustenance.
Sustenance, yeah. All right, that's interesting. Now, the
But
Pleiades are said to run the Galactic Federation of Light.
yes,
Is that true?
yes,
Okay.
they have a high seat in the high council of the galaxy, right? They are like
Yeah.
top of the line, pretty much.
I
They're
thought,
basically the ones that are kind of keeping the reptilians from,
yeah, the
take
Arcturians and stuff.
yeah, taking over and stuff like that. So
Yeah, they're like the superheroes, like the Kryptonians.
yeah, they're all about, one galaxy, one love, one
Good guys.
being, right? Yeah, they're very, very. They're like hippies of space, kind of. They're very into
Yep.
that whole, sit down and sing a song, hold hands, But they don't really contact each other. They just, stand close to each other, and they don't really talk. They can talk, but they don't really talk very often.
Yeah.
They kind of live by that code, They don't waste anything. So like even energy to speak out loud is saved for when it's necessary, like at high council meetings or when they're speaking to a like an
He who knows the
earthbound.
most speaks the least, though. Isn't that
Yes,
the
exactly,
saying?
right. So that's kind of what they think, right? Actually speaking and using words is a waste of energy for them, right?
It's not what you are on the inside, but what you do that matters.
I think that's where the Egyptians believe they came from. Yes, the Egyptians
That,
believe they had Pleiadian. Yep.
hmm,
Kelly knows this stuff.
Kelly knows everything.
All right, moving on to the next one. Or you got any more questions?
I know all about the Pleiades.
Yeah.
Now, when can you see the Pleiades in the sky, though?
Oh, that's
In
what
North
in
America, I'm pretty sure it's in fall, winter
yeah,
time. So
right. It's end of October timeframe, isn't it?
I think so.
I can't remember now.
Whenever it's cold out.
Yeah, but the other thing is that it's said that a lot of the people on Earth, not a lot, but a fair number of people on Earth are what they call Pleiadian star seeds. So they have DNA that's from the Pleiadians. And at some point in time, there's going to be an awakening, and all the Pleiadian star seeds are going to become like the rest of the Pleiadians. Their true self will come out of their dense human form.
Hmm.
So
Like an angel.
yep. So I don't know when that's going to be, but that's the star seeds
Tomorrow.
are very very common thing, more common than people believe.
Yeah, people like to make it a special thing, but
Mm-hmm.
the only thing special about you is you came out of a bottle.
Right. But it's no different than like the reptilians. I mean, there's a lot of people that believe, especially there's an author. His name is David Icke, um, who basically believes that the reptilians are like the ones running the entire world as far as like infiltrated into governments and stuff, right? Because they're shapeshifters.
I
So,
wouldn't doubt it.
um, and speaking of them, there you are. This is your cup of tea.
What are they?
The reptilians.
Oh, the reptilians. I don't know anything about the reptilians. I'm not a reptilian guy. I'm not a reptilian. Are you a reptilian? You trying to say I'm
You're,
a
you
reptilian?
you can't be a reptilian because you're my son.
But you're a reptilian.
No.
What if this Pleiadian talk is just a cover up?
Now we're getting into galactic conspiracy theory. Jeez,
Yeah,
that's way
you're
far out there.
secretly a reptile to cover up your
Well, hey,
Pleiadian.
all human beings have a tailbone, right? So at some point in time, all humans had to have a tail, which would be reptilian, right?
No monkey.
Yeah.
Forgot
Part of
monkey.
our brain's reptilian too. So, you know. So these are the ones you'll see, like we've saw some of those videos on like James LaFleur's Impossible channel where
Yeah, the ones with the weird eyes
the
where they
eyeballs that
slit.
blink sideways and stuff. Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of people believe that the reptilians are, and according to what the Pleiadians feel, they're actually after world and
Domination.
galactic domination. Right? They want to control everything. So they are just basically set on conquering and destruction. According to this, they live about 500 years, and these guys are the ones that supposedly drive fly the
Simulation.
cigar shaped ships, the tic tac shape.
Now, would you rather have to fight 3 Pleiadians or 1 reptilian?
I wouldn't have to fight a Pleiadian. They don't believe in fighting. They don't have to.
Okay, but what if you had to?
I definitely take them because the reptilians, they're like, they are unbeatable in a physical combat.
What if I bet I could beat a reptilian.
That's why the Pleiadians can control them, because they use a lot of mind control stuff. So, because they're more energy. Whereas
I
the
bet I could
reptilians,
beat a
reptilians
reptilian
are
in a fight.
intelligent. They're not dumb, but they're more kind of like a Genghis Khan type of thing, right? Where it's just power and
Yeah.
good strategy, smart, but it's all about force and power, really. And of
The
course, they're
Force?
reptilians, so they're not easily injured, and they probably can
They're like dragons,
yeah, they can probably regrow limbs or heal fast and shit like that, right? Because
like Wolverine.
the reptilian DNA, like some of the lizards can lose their tails and stuff. So
Yeah. That's probably why they can like blend in with humans so good, because they're chameleons.
right, they're shapeshifters for sure. That's one of the
Yeah.
big things, right? There's only a few telltale signs, and that's if you get close enough to see their eyes and watch for a long period of time. Sometimes if they are tired or after a fight, they don't have the energy to keep their form, so you'll start seeing it morph a little bit. You've probably seen people that actually do that, where their face looks one way, and then after they get done doing something, it starts to change, right?
Like Joe Biden.
Yeah, exactly. See how different he looks?
He does look very different.
Hey, Thanos.
Hi, Thanos.
Yes, those are our reptilian overlords.
Now, Thanos was a Titan, right? He was from Titan.
Thanos?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he wasn't supposed to look that way.
No.
Anyway.
No.
Titan is the moon of Jupiter, right?
Yeah, but there's so much like Thanos is more related to the Greek Titans, right? Where he's, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Isn't his brother named Eros?
Yeah.
Which is the god of love and
yeah. So he's more related to that, right? I mean, of course, in all comic books, there's all sorts of Greek and Roman mythology and
very true.
Egyptian history and stuff like that.
King Tut.
Yep. All right. Any questions more about reptilians?
Let me think for a second. Now, do you think Lizard Man, the
one in North Carolina?
Yeah.
Or
do
South
you think
Carolina, whatever one that
is a reptilian, or do you think he's some cryptid? Or Frogman? What about Frogman?
The only thing about the Lizard Man that makes it more like a cryptid to me as opposed to a reptilian is that he doesn't shapeshift. That's ever been reported, right? I mean, maybe he does. Maybe people are just happen to see him at nighttime when he's trying to be reptilian, so it's hard to say, because almost every report of the Lizard Man comes from dusk till early in the morning, right, in the dark time. So he could be a reptilian that's just kind of out in the swamp eating the frogs and shit like that during the nighttime, so he doesn't have to waste energy by staying shapeshifted during the night when he doesn't need it.
Yeah. What about Mothman? Do you think Mothman could be an extraterrestrial?
Yeah, Thanos. There's I was just talking about David Icke, the author from England, who talks a lot about the reptilian overlords, and I read a lot of his stuff. What was your question?
Do you think Mothman could be an extraterrestrial?
Mothman?
Yeah.
There's a high chance that Mothman really is an extraterrestrial.
That's what I'm thinking.
It makes no sense for that type of creature to exist in this world, right? You
No.
know, he's either a science experiment gone wrong, right? That a government science experiments that went wrong, or he's an
Mhm.
alien, right? He's not natural to this world,
No. Definitely not.
right? Kind of like the Jersey Devil, right? The Jersey Devil is a cursed being, right? So he's not natural to this world.
No.
Whereas a creature like Loch Ness or Sasquatch, they're natural to this world, right? They are ones that just are been around for a long, long time, right? That have just evolved to be what they are now from, dinosaurs or,
Monkeys.
creatures from, the Ice Age time frame and all that, right?
Mhm.
Um, but there's a lot of people that believe Bigfoot is actually an alien. So I mean,
Yeah, I've
there's
heard
that
about
too,
that
right?
one.
And surprisingly, with a lot of the Sasquatch sightings that are reported, there's also UFO activity reported same time, same place, quite
Yeah,
often.
and people see floating orbs and weird lights. It's pretty interesting.
So the bug people that uh, emerged from the earth were actually ant creatures, which those were probably aliens. But I guess Mothman could have been that type of thing too. But the native myths are about ant
He's a
people.
Geonosian.
Yeah, they're actually called ant people. They have the
Tendrils.
yeah. What are they called when they draw on the cave walls and stuff? The
Hieroglyphs.
yeah,
Glyphs.
not the yeah the
Cave
glyphs that
paintings.
are the glyphs that are in the mountains in like New Mexico and Nevada and Arizona that actually show the drawings of the ant people.
Yeah.
But yeah, going with that theory, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like the Mothman could definitely be some type of bug alien creature, right? And of course, like we were talking about when we were watching that show earlier, if the ant people maybe they originated from outer space, but if they've been living inside the earth for centuries, you really can't call them extraterrestrials anymore. They actually become,
More terrestrial than you could
yeah,
possibly imagine.
right. Living in the earth is definitely more terrestrial.
You left the comment on the screen.
I'm getting there. I was getting
All right.
there.
I just didn't know if you saw.
I saw, I'm a little slow.
It's still there. No, it's not.
No,
Never mind.
it's gone.
My stream's just a little behind. That's all.
All right. Well, if you weren't
Um,
playing Lego Star Wars while you're
I'm
streaming,
looking. I'm watching the stream on my phone.
oh,
Yeah.
and playing
Okay.
Lego Star Wars at the same
And playing
time.
Lego Star Wars at the same time. Okay. Let's go on to the next one.
This is yours, baby. You are all about the Anunnaki.
Oh yes, the Anunnaki. Now this is an interesting one because the Anunnaki is technically not extraterrestrials. Okay, so Anunnaki are the Sumerian deities that come from the Sumerian pantheon, which is the considered the the birthplace of human civilization. And so it comes in the idea that okay, so there's these beings that came from space. That's what Anunnaki means, is space people. That those who came from the sky. And in Sumerian culture, there's a bunch of deities. There's one that's the main guy is Enki, but then there's Inanna, and Inanna turns into Ishtar, which is another deity from a different religion. And they all religions seem to stem from these stories of Sumeria for some reason. But there's buildings and towns and cities that are all created specifically and are mentioned in the texts to be created by the deities, right? So they're called these holy cities because they were created by the deities and they were the first places that these people ever had actual places to live, which is really interesting. But these are considered the idea for the Anunnaki is that they were aliens that came from another far off planet searching for, supplies and other things that Earth has to offer. But then they just decided, well, we're going to create an experiment and we're going to turn these people into, you know, slaves. So they took the animals that were already here from evolution and everything, and then they decided, hey, let's just like alter their DNA a little bit and turn them into these semi-intelligent, semi-stupid creatures. So they did that, and it turned into us. But you can look through all of pretty much every single religion on the planet, and you can find that there's a shift in DNA randomly at some point, right? Like there's a random shift in the makeup of the human DNA,
Yep.
which doesn't really make sense because we don't really have a reason for it. So ancient astronaut theorists suggest that
I'm not saying it was aliens, but it was
they
aliens.
suggest that it was aliens that came and changed our DNA. And you can look at all the creation myths on the planet, and it shows that there is some random change in all of the DNA around the world in the religions, right? So that's like randomly some person from the sky or some person from the water came and said, "Hey, it's time for us to, become smarter." Some are good, some are evil, some are have malevolent intentions, some have benevolent intentions. It all actually really depends on where you're from. And even the Mesoamerican cultures have the creation myth where the people were too smart that they created. The gods created too smart of people, and they had to like kill everybody off in a major disaster and restart and create a creature less powerful. And the creature that they made before were reptilian. So some people believe that the reptilians are actually humans before humans. They were the pre-humans.
Yeah. And also with the ancient religions, like if you look at a lot of the ancient buildings, right? Pyramids in Egypt and pictographs in Egypt, and even in the American West with some of the native tribes down south with the um, where were the big ones down south, Luke?
What do you mean?
Down
Aztecs,
Aztecs and the
Mayans,
Mayans. That's
Incans.
the one. Yep. And then over in China and other places of Asia, even in Russia, like especially in the Egyptian pictographs, you see like the creatures with like dog heads and bird heads and things like that, and centaurs, those kind of like creatures. They believe that like when the Anunnaki were messing around with the DNA, trying to figure out the best, fit, let's put it that way, best being to create all those stuff, all that stuff was created then, and that's where those creatures come from.
Yeah. And there are some uh, ideas that the Anunnaki took their DNA and mixed it with monkey DNA and
Right.
other creature DNA. So they took like a lizard and mixed their DNA with a lizard, or they took a monkey, mixed it with a monkey. They took it with a bird, mixed it with a bird.
Yeah.
Took it with a dog, mixed it with a dog, right? So
Yep.
they were
To-
trying to find the best fit
yep.
for their DNA to create the best
Slave.
slave.
Yep.
Not
Mine the gold and the
rethinking.
resources.
Yeah.
And then the
Which,
human beings became too smart.
well, also the deities, one of them, a few of them were like, we don't want to enslave these people anymore. We like
Right.
them, right?
That was
So they
uh
Enki didn't want
Enki.
to,
Right.
but I don't remember the other guy's name. Uh,
Yeah.
Anu, I think maybe that was it.
Yep. Enki and
But he
Anuna or something like that. Yeah.
he didn't want to let the people go, so
Yeah.
they decided. But that's where is that Luke Skywalker? It is. Anyway, they decided that's where a lot of the religions come from of modern day, right? So
Yep.
Yahweh was a Sumerian deity. Pretty much every god and every story was a Sumerian deity. Gilgamesh is a
Yep.
story from the Sumerian times. There were stories of giants,
Yeah, there's actually
and
a story of it's Abraham and his wife. That's actually they're different names in the Anunnaki Sumerian lore, but that's where those two come from also.
so it's really just the origin of like all of religion on the planet.
DNA splicing with lizard people might explain my ex-wife. So Enoch was also part of that all over encompassing story, correct?
What do you mean over encompassing story?
The Enoch or the Anunnaki and the creation and all that, right?
If you want to say that, I don't think Enoch's really part of it. I've never heard anything about Enoch being part of it.
Did he come later then?
What do you mean? Enoch's in the Bible.
I'm thinking of Enki. I'm sorry, not Enoch. I'm thinking of Enki.
Yeah, I was just gonna say
Yeah,
Enoch's the guy who
yeah,
was taken by the Lord and
right.
brought into
He's the
heaven.
guy that his book was removed from the Bible,
Um,
and it was found in the with the
the Dead Sea
Dead Sea
Scrolls.
Scrolls. Yeah, but
Yeah,
the other fascinating thing that I think is really crazy about all the ancient civilizations is the fact that so many of them have snakes in their creation stories, right? Which would
yeah,
explain the reptilian thing,
true.
and also eggs, right?
Hey,
All of their like creation myths have to do with like an egg, a fertilized egg, right? Which is basically, even though we're born alive, we start out as an egg inside of our moms, right? I mean,
who doesn't
essentially,
like eggs?
right? Eggs are good, especially with a little bacon, some toast.
Hot sauce.
But like even the Anunnaki, we'll go to the next picture because I think it. Nope, this one doesn't have it. But there's several pictures of the Anunnaki where they're holding like what a lot of people assume are pine cones, but they're actually eggs of creation, is what they're supposedly are. So, and
Hmm.
here you see the Anunnaki with some horse bodies with human heads over
They got
here.
bird bodies, horse
Yep,
bodies, fish
yep,
bodies. Enki is supposedly a fish, which is really interesting because in the story of the Silmarillion, you have kind of the Sumerian deities rewritten. You like the entire story,
yep.
honestly.
Oh yeah, Tolkien
Which is,
definitely took a lot of inspiration from
well,
ancient mythology, like
it's
especially Sumeria.
interesting mainly because they weren't really discovered when Tolkien was creating the stories. Like Sumerian tablets weren't even being able to be read at that point.
Yeah,
So
Tolkien knew though. I mean, that guy was a genius. He probably was in the Vatican's library, reading real history, while the rest of them were, trying to learn from the Smithsonian.
yeah,
But the giants, though, that's another thing, right? I mean, even in the Bible, it says stuff about how the giants were on Earth, right? But
the Nephilim, yeah.
yep. Um, at some point, those were probably an Anunnaki, miscalculation.
Maybe they were precursors to humans, but they were just too
Right.
strong, you know?
Right. They were too big, right? And the Earth
Yep.
couldn't sustain it all, right?
Well, you
That's
couldn't
that's what.
control them.
Right, for sure.
So maybe they just were too big and too strong. And that's why, you know, God called them all, God, Yahweh, called them all down to, fight the giants and exterminate the giants because they were bad, right?
Yep.
But the story of the Nephilim is that the Nephilim were created by angels coming down and having children with humans.
Right. Yep.
So maybe
Yeah.
the angels are just aliens,
Aliens. Yep.
Anunnakis,
Yep.
and they're just mixed Anunnaki genes.
Yeah. And then supposedly the flood that's in the Bible and many other ancient histories, because it actually did happen. They have, physical evidence of an actual world engulfing flood. Um, was actually theorized to drown most of the giants, is what the whole purpose of it was,
Hmm.
because they were getting too powerful and too out of control. So, like our, Christian religion talks about how the God sent the flood to, rid the earth of evil and bad people and
Sin.
stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
And sin. Um, the same thing holds kind of true in the other mythologies and stuff, but it's really to remove the giants, which of course were created out of out of, lust and, DNA splicing and stuff that probably wasn't looked upon as, favorable, right? Because they were too strong and too powerful, and they were probably taking over, right?
Yeah, very possible. They
All
probably
right.
just didn't listen to the
Yeah, for sure, right?
superiors.
I mean,
All
they were
right,
probably just as big as them, so they're like, "Hey, we don't have to listen to you," right? All right.
who's
This
next?
is Valiant Thor.
Oh, you can talk about this one. You met him.
I did not meet Valiant Thor. I would have loved to have met Valiant Thor, but he
He
was
looked like
already off.
Valiant Thor.
He was definitely off planet by the time I came to be, because he was only around from 57 to 1960. But it's a
We'll
pretty
talk
cool
about him.
story because he was he landed his spaceship just outside of Washington, D.C., and a policeman happened to see it. And this is actually reported in the police log. And the policeman saw the UFO land, and Valiant Thor, a man in a business suit, stepped out of the actual spacecraft, walked up to the police officer in 1957, and said, "I need to speak to Theodore Roosevelt, the president."
Teddy.
And the I
It
think it was
wasn't Teddy
Roosevelt.
though.
I think it was Roosevelt.
Not Teddy Roosevelt.
Maybe it was, who the hell was president then?
FDR, I think.
No, President Eisenhower. That's who it was.
Eisenhower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Theodore
knew it.
Roosevelt was
I
not in
wrote that. I
1957.
wrote that down somewhere. So yeah, the police somehow or other got him into the Pentagon. They got him cleared, and then he actually met the president, and he was actually given VIP status to the Pentagon for 3 years that he was on Earth, 57 to 1960, and actually held meetings and probably gave alien technology secrets and stuff like that. Talked about defense and how to navigate the Cold War so we didn't destroy the planet. And his whole purpose was actually, even though he gave us like technological secrets and stuff, was actually to avoid us going to nuclear war, because it was in 57, right? So it was basically the beginnings of the Cold War. And I'm sure there was a Valiant Thor that went to Russia, because that was, the other major world power at the time, right? Because we'd already destroyed Germany and Japan at this point in time through World War II. So there's a lot of books on Valiant Thor, but I was doing a little bit of research on him today.
So that you could remember his name.
Yeah, I couldn't remember his name for a long time. But he was actually sent to Earth to voice his concerns from the High Council of the Galaxy over the way humanity was evolving, and in particular, how they were getting too power hungry and war hungry with the nuclear weaponry. And his
Yeah.
purpose was to slow that down and explain not just what a nuclear war would do to the Earth, but what all that radiation and stuff would do to the actual whole entire galaxy.
The galaxy.
Yep, the universe. So isn't that wild, right? Though, because like it's, people don't understand that if we destroyed Earth by a nuclear war, that radiated dust and everything else isn't just gonna stay on Earth, right? It's gonna float off into space.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing about like going back to the Anunnaki, right? I forgot about this part. There's people that believe that many, many hundreds and thousands of years ago, when the Anunnaki came to Earth, that they actually had uh, a station, right? Whatever you want to call it, for them to stop off from their planet to our planet on Mars. So if you look at Mars, there's people that, like do the pictures where you see the face on Mars and there's doors and there's things that look like pyramids and stuff. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of ancient astronaut theorists believe that suggest that that's where that came from, right? That was an Anunnaki like supply post, right? So they drop off supplies or they pick up supplies from Earth that the humans loaded, and humans were up on Mars with them doing slave labor up there as well, because back then Mars's atmosphere was just like our atmosphere. But they believe that the reptilians or another alien race bombed Mars and
The Martians.
knocked it off of its orbit, and that's why it is the desolate planet that it is today, because it actually is not rotating in the same space that it should have been. But there is still believed to be an alien race that lives under the ground on Mars, though, which is weird considering that one picture shows a doorway coming out of a huge mountain, right? That's bizarre.
Like the dwarves. Just a bunch of dwarves living on Mars.
Yep.
That'd be interesting.
Jim says, apparently atomic warheads can rip into the fabric of space-time, according to some physicists. I believe it.
Well, that is what's happening. They're ripping atoms in half, which probably is not good for the atom.
Jim also says Valiant Thor would be a great name for a rock band. It definitely would. Jim also says Graham Hancock's hypothesis about lost civilizations might even tie into some of this alien ancestor theory. Yeah, definitely. He's got some good stuff. I like Graham Hancock. Do you have anything else about the Valiant Thor?
I don't know too much about Valiant Thor, honestly.
Oh, you should definitely do some research on Valiant Thor. He's actually a fascinating character. I mean, like he was a legit person. I mean, so whether he was actually alien or not, we have no proof, but he said he was. And he had secrets, right? He got a VIP, pass
he knew so, at least.
Right, into the Pentagon and things like that, right? And he just walked up out of nowhere. That's like actual legit history. So where he actually came from, who knows? But I mean, he's, there's several pictures of him with people, and he looks the same in every picture. So it's not like he was a fake person, right? It wasn't just a made up character. So
it would be kind of cool, though, if the government created that idea in the Cold War to make Russia afraid because it had aliens on their side.
That's another theory, right? I mean, that's very possible that our government said, oh, yeah, this is Valiant Thor. He's an alien, knowing that it's going to get leaked over to our enemies because, the whole thing with the Nazis using UFO technology and stuff, right? And
exactly.
Look what they created during World War II and briefly before that, right?
Yeah.
And a lot of Nazi scientists actually came over and helped us with our rocket propulsion and things like that.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
pretty much every scientist in World War II that was on America's side was German.
Right. So, I mean, it's like the Valiant Thor thing could have actually just been a dude who was posing as this alien.
We'll never know.
But Michael Murdad said he met him, right? So
so it has to be true.
It's got to be true, right? Why would he say it if it wasn't true?
Money.
I wonder if the sci-fi film The Day the Earth Stood Still is inspired by Valiant Thor. That's a good question. That's a good relation
Gouda.
there.
It's Gouda.
It's Gouda. It's Gouda. All right. So any questions? Anybody have any questions? Anything they want to discuss? We're going to go into a couple different types of UFOs now. So before we hit the UFO buttons, Luke, have you ever seen an actual UFO?
A few.
A few? So tell us about them.
I don't think I will.
Why not?
I have secrets to keep.
You don't have secrets with me. These are all our friends here.
I have so
There's
many
no
secrets.
there's
I am
no
not allowed to
secrets
tell
among
you.
friends.
I'm under oath of the Galactic Federation.
So, because I've spent most of my life outdoors, laying on the grass, looking up at the sky, wanting to be picked up by the alien as they drove by, um, but not be anal probe, just going for a ride. I want to make that very clear. um,
The aliens in the chat are listening, and they just put
I
their
know.
probes away really
Yep.
slowly, like, "Aw."
Damn it. There goes our fun for the night. Thought we had a good target. But I remember this one time I was camping in somewhere kind of like north central Pennsylvania. So right around like Allegheny. It was like around the Allegheny forest, but on the Pennsylvania, on the side on the north side of Pennsylvania.
Mhm.
And there was about 8 of us guys, and we were all just camping out, and we were all laying down by the fire, just staring up at the sky because it was like it's like August or something. And the sky was just it was like midnight. The sky
Purple.
was just beautiful, right, filled with stars and everything. And as we were laying there, like straight over our heads, this I was way up in the sky, but this light went flying across the sky, right?
Mhm.
And I mean, it wasn't right above us, but it kind of, from our perspective, it looked like it was right above us, right? It got super bright, split off into three, and then each thing shot different directions.
Huh.
So that was one time that I saw some kind of
How long ago was this?
UFO. I was probably
1935?
I was 17, so yeah,
35.
1942. Yeah, 1942. It was in the 80s. I was probably 17 or 18 years old. Um, so yeah.
Now were you on anything at that night?
No, no, no. I was
No?
actually camping with the Boy Scouts, so we weren't allowed to have anything.
So, you had too many s'mores.
Possibly too
One
much
too many
mess,
s'mores.
too much mess hall, powdered eggs,
Yeah.
and fake hamburgers. Um, and then one time when I was, I stayed overnight at great grandpa's house on the lake.
Mhm.
Oh, hold on a second. Let's say hi to Ted real quick.
Aloha,
Howdy,
Ted.
Ted. Yeah, stupid job. Damn adulting. Thanks for joining in. Um, so I was staying at great grandpa's house on the lake, and the porch that was on the back is not there anymore because she built the new porch. But remember the old
So,
brown
haunted
porch?
and aliens there?
Yeah. No, no, that the grandfather's house that was haunted was his house that he grew up in, not the house that he
Oh,
lived in. So oh, Adam's here from GI Joe Lost Chronicles. How to doing, Adam?
howdy, Adam.
So anyway, this is the one on the lake. The one that was haunted is the one that's in Great Valley. That do you remember when we used to
Mhm.
go to that furniture store that Mom always wanted to go to? There was that old house on the one street that I talked about all the
No.
time. Okay, well, it was an old house down there, so that was in Great Valley. My grandfather's, your great grandfather's house is the one on the lake, but I was staying with my cousin Joe, and we decided
Mhm.
to sleep out on the boat, right? So the seats on the boat just folded out, right? You could actually fold them down, and so we laid on those, and we're just out in the middle of the lake, anchored out there, and we're just bullshitting and talking and stuff, and we saw four triangle shape, not triangle, I guess they'd be diamond shapes, flew over the lake from like our left to right or right to left. I guess it was right to left, and they were like in a perfect formation, just four diamond shapes, bright lights,
Hmm.
just flew over us. Now, whether it was one craft, four crafts, I couldn't tell you because it was low enough that I could tell they were diamonds, but it was too high for us to see, any shape other than the diamond shaped lights. But
Weird.
we were both like, holy shit, did we just see what we thought we saw?
Yeah.
So,
It's a good way to question your sanity.
yep. And I wasn't drinking or anything that night either because I was probably only like 15 at that time.
That never stopped you before.
Well, true, I started drinking way, way, way younger than I should have, but that's beside the point. So you're not going to share with us any of your UFO
Oh, I'll share
stories?
my stuff. I'll
All
share
right,
my stuff.
let's hear it.
Okay. Which one? Which one should I start with? I've got so many.
I don't know. Start with the one from last summer when we were out at the campfire.
I'll start way, way back in the very beginning. It
Yes.
all started. You might be wondering how I ended up here. It all started when I was like 12, I think. How old was I when we went to the GameStop parking lot?
Mm.
Remember that one?
Yeah, that was many years ago because GameStop was still open. So you were probably like
Many years
11,
ago. I was
10 or
like
11.
7. Yeah. Isabel was doing ballet. So,
Was she really?
yeah. We
She
were picking
was,
her up from ballet that
shit,
day.
that was probably, she's 20 now. So she was probably like 10 or 12. So you were probably like 7 or 8. Yeah.
So, yeah. I was 7, which long time ago. And
A whole 10 years.
whole 10 years. Um anyway, I completely forgot my train of thought. A
We're talking
long
about,
time ago in a
yep.
galaxy far, far away, we were out in this parking lot. It was about sunset, right? The sun was just setting over the horizon. And
Yep.
there's this, you can look over this highway and see the cars pass by, but the sun sets, so it's west. You're facing west. And over in the west, there were these 3 lights that all showed up randomly and started doing geometric patterns in the sky. They weren't flashing, so they weren't like planes or anything, and they were like glowing. They were glowing in the sunlight. Not really like a normal plane is just kind of a black spot. It was like giving off an orange light, right?
Yeah,
And then they
they
started,
were definitely glowing. They weren't just
yeah.
like reflecting the sun or anything. It was definitely like giving off a light.
So as they gave off this light, they where's C3PO? Not here anymore. Anyway, they were doing these weird patterns, and then eventually they flew around and more showed up. And I think at the end there was like 5 or 6
I
that
think
just
there were 7 that we counted at the end because they
yeah.
just kept showing up out of nowhere, right?
And then they just all eventually slowly disappeared and moved off and didn't exist anymore.
The funny thing is if you think about it, right? That is in basically the same location as we saw that other thing later at night, except we saw it farther away, right?
We've seen so many things in that general direction.
Yeah. So
Kind
carry
of
on.
crazy. That's it. That's the whole story.
Yeah. I was talking
Um
about next story.
oh, next story. Another story. Oh, what's another story?
Well,
I've got a lot of
we saw that weird thing in the sky, right? Remember that one light that was
yeah.
pulsing on
That's
the way home from school that one night?
I don't remember that.
You don't remember the light that was pulsing off to the west? It was the same night that
Pulsing.
you saw Elon Musk
Starlink.
his Starlink, but remember that
You're
was
talking about the one that fell out of the sky.
right. Yep. Remember it was
S-
pulsing though, and then it fell out of the
Yeah,
sky.
yeah. There was the
Howdy,
one that was
Matt.
pulsing, and then there was the one that fell out of the sky.
Yep.
There was a
Those are both in the same place, like only a week apart,
yeah.
right?
Yep. We were staring into the sky, right? Well, I was. You were driving.
Yep.
I was staring into the sky,
I was
and
staring at something, but don't know what. Because I can't
and
see at nighttime when I drive anyway.
there was just this random star that came from. I randomly was like, "Dad, look!" And there's a star that fell out of the sky, and he missed the first one, and I was like, "You missed it. A star just fell from the sky into the ground." And he was like, "What?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude, it really just happened." And then a couple minutes later, it happened again, but this one was like super obvious. So you saw it also.
Yep, I saw that second one.
So these 2 stars just randomly falling out of the sky. That was a little odd.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was a weird one.
Yeah, but that
Um,
was the same, like I said, that was in the same exact location like a week beforehand. That was
yeah.
like not even a full week because that was a Monday night, and we saw the other thing on a Wednesday coming home from school. And that was in the same exact spot in the sky, except it was pulsing, remember? Because we kept saying, is that just going behind clouds, or is
Mhm.
it the tree leaves on the road or whatever? And then we were like, we got up into the clearing on the one road, and we are like, nope, that thing is definitely pulsing. And it wasn't just like a light on a plane that blinks. I mean, this thing was like, it get really bright, really slow, then fade out really slow, and get really bright, and it was huge. It was a big light in the sky. Remember that?
Yeah. On my way home, a day near this time, um, I saw this orange light go from like not even high in the sky. It was slightly low in the sky, and it just slowly went down beyond the horizon, not flashing, not anything, but it didn't move for a few seconds. And I was like, that's a really bright star. Is that Mars? And then it just slowly went behind the sky. I mean, the horizon. It was really weird. I don't know.
Ted says a lot of wild stuff happens at the Crick.
Yeah.
It's not that a lot of stuff happens here. We just spend enough time outside to actually see all this stuff. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens in Ohio too.
But yeah, those are the alien stories I can think of right now.
Yeah. Yeah, so you've seen a few.
I've seen more than that. I just can't
Yep.
remember all of them.
Yeah. And seeing Starlink was pretty cool because we were like, what the
That
hell is
was.
that thing? And then
Yeah, I was like, what is this cut in the sky?
yeah, then you went home and researched and found out that was
I
Starlink.
always research.
Yep.
Always make sure that it's actually not just a satellite or something.
Matthew says Ohio is just weird, period.
For sure.
I love Ohio.
You would.
All right. So the first crafts we're going to discuss are the flying saucers. Now, these are the ones that, go back from, in the cartoons and the old black and white movies, where people are on Earth seeing flying saucers. It was always the typical, saucer shaped, disc shaped craft with some lights. Most of them back in the day when they were first seen had a bubble on top just because, the aliens would drive around through space with nothing but a glass dome over their heads. But according
They
to
had really bad sunburn.
according to lore, the flying saucer is the type of craft that crashed in Roswell. So that's the ship. That's why a lot of people associate the gray aliens with the flying saucers because supposedly in Roswell there was some bodies that were witnessed and taken by the government to a test facility, and one of them was still alive and the other one was dead. But supposedly there was two gray alien beings on this flying saucer that crashed in the desert of New Mexico by Roswell. So flying saucers have been reported more often than any other type of craft up until probably the recent 5 years, where the next two that we're going to talk about have been becoming more and more popular. So I've never actually seen a flying saucer that I can think of in the sky where I saw like a round type of lights, right? But that's one of the most common ones that used to be reported. Now, this is the most common form that you usually see a lot of is the triangles. This is the same one that was kind of in what was it, Las Vegas, just last month or something, 2 months
A
ago.
while ago, a little bit ago, there was.
Yeah.
Now,
Yep.
have you ever seen a triangle?
No, but like this triangle that's next, this is so there's some triangles that look like this, right, where they're a solid mass with lights in each of the points.
Hmm.
But then there's also the triangles that look like this that people report, where it's just like an L shape but flies in a arrow formation type, right? And
That's kind of just like a stealth bomber, though, isn't it?
right, yeah, yeah.
So maybe they're just seeing a stealth bomber.
But this is more reminiscent of the diamond shape that I saw, right? Because like, or maybe it is this, because like the pattern, like if there's a light down here in the corner that was in making it a diamond, that'd be basically what it was, because the lights that we saw were in a diamond shape and they were perfectly, a diamond shape. So um but yeah, the triangle of this kind is the first one here is the kind that was just recently witnessed in Las Vegas by a shit ton of people. There's tons of video of that one out in Las Vegas. That was just recent, within the last couple of months. Ted wants to know if you're playing Lego Star Wars, and can he get in on that?
I am.
To answer the question, yes, he is. And if you DM him on Instagram, he'll send you the link to join.
I would. I don't know how to make crossplay. I don't think that's a thing anymore on these old games.
No. Are you
I can
playing?
figure it out. I've done it
You're
before.
playing on your computer though, right?
Yeah, but I've
Yeah.
done it before. You can play. You got to use parsec and stuff.
Yeah.
Someday.
Are you going to make the Kessel run in 12 of them?
12 of them. What? Oh, ha 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 ha.
I was hoping you'd get that, because if you didn't, I was going to be very disappointed
I
in
would be very
myself as a
disappointed
father.
myself. You should be.
With a son named Luke, he doesn't get a Star Wars reference.
I got the
Jeez.
Star Wars reference.
All right.
I always get it.
So yeah, this is really becoming a common sighting now. Like even like on James LaFleur that we watch, right? There are all sorts of these triangle ones that are like full bodied things with just lights and triangle patterns. So then there's that other one that was like a pyramid. Remember?
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
over maybe Washington D.C. or somewhere, right? It was over a big city. I can't remember which one. But yeah, so the triangles are becoming really, really common to see as of late. Ted says he prefers the saucer, and what's Jim say? Saucer is cool, but I'd rather have a TARDIS. Definitely a TARDIS. I couldn't play games and focus on a stream. I'd just be cursing and showing off how bad that games I am. Yeah, you and me both, Ted. I can't focus on games, period, let alone do the game and do something else at the same time. So all right, and the last one we're going to talk about is the cigar, the tic tac shaped crafts, which are also becoming very common. There's that navy one that was
Yeah. The
seen.
Navy Tic Tac.
Oh, but you know what? Before we move on, the triangle shape is what was witnessed in that military base in what was it,
Britain.
Berkshire in Britain, right outside the American military base, and that was back in the 80s, right?
Sometime, long time ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago, because they're still, the guys that were there were still alive though. So I mean, had
You're
to be
still
in the
alive.
yes, had to be in the 80s, right? And now the
You're
triangle
old.
shape was the one that they actually seen on the ground and in that incident.
True.
Yes, I
It
am
is.
old. And then the cigar, the tic tac shaped ones. There's the big one that's out all over the place with the fighter pilot videoing that thing that looks like a tic
Yeah.
tac flying across the, just above the sea.
Yeah, on the thermal can.
Yep. That thing's wild looking too. So, and there's several other Navy videos from the ships and other aircrafts of the Tic Tac ships flying around. And the Tic Tacs look just like the cigars, except they're shorter in most of the videos that I've seen. And then like the cigar shapes just look like a steel cigar tube, right? And
Yeah.
but this is a photo of a cigar shaped UFO actually in the sky. This is what it looks like. It just looks like an all silver metal tube that just hanging out there in the
Now, who took
sky.
that photo?
I don't know who took it, but
They can fly, apparently.
it was actually a no. This is a snapshot from a video zoomed in.
Oh, okay.
They just zoomed in on the actual picture.
It kind of looks like a tanker tank.
Yeah, it does exactly what they look like. So if like this one here is probably more what they actually look like if you got to see them up close. But supposedly this is what the reptilians fly around, right? So maybe since they are like conquerors, maybe they can haul a whole army inside of here, right? Who knows how big they are?
Maybe they use wormholes.
I think they make them out of like mirror though. So, like, if they're flying in the sky, right, unless they're at the right angle, you're not going to see them because they're just going to reflect all the light around them.
Yeah, they got stealth technology,
Yep.
invisibility cloaks and stuff. Is that the last one?
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm trying to catch up here because Ted says, Largo's Lair, I know nothing about the TARDIS. I just assume it's the British version of Bill and Ted's Time Machine, pretty much. Then Largo said, yeah, the Tic Tac has to be man-made. Too phallic to be alien. Ted says, Largo, way too phallic, totally man-made. Everything man-made is phallic. Bullet Bill from Mario. Yep. You don't want that boy to probe you. No, that's definitely not one you want to be probed by, not the cigar-shaped spaceship. I've already said I don't want to be anally probed. Just ride. I just want to ride. I don't want to be surgically investigated. So yeah, that's the last picture.
All right. Now, what are your thoughts on the
Why don't you bring your face back on here now so I can see you?
I'm a little busy doing a level.
You're fine. You can pause it.
I can't. It's an online game.
What do you mean it's an online game?
It's not. I just wanted to lie.
Yeah, you're full of shit.
I have to do this, man. It's important. He's
It's not
eating
important.
a pig.
You can do this after we're done here because we're going to be done in probably.
But the viewers need to watch me win.
Oh. So go ahead, ask your question while you finish this level.
Okay. So how do you feel about the recent the what are they called? What are those things called? Trials.
Oh, the ones in the Senate and stuff?
Yeah, with the
Where they're talking
aliens
about
and
the
stuff. How do you feel about that?
Two things. I think it's a distraction from other things that are going on, but I'm a conspiracy theorist, so I don't think the government lets that kind of stuff out without having some ulterior motive, right? And then on top of that, there might be a few people that are in the government that, like, lower levels, but the Senate, Congress, people that are in the White House, Department of Defense.
Yeah.
Aliens have been around, forever, right? And if Roswell happened and if Valiant Thor happened, there'd be no reason for us to hold these councils and meetings, right, to discuss whether aliens exist, because they all know aliens exist. And Thanos wants to know, how fucked are we if aliens are the distraction story?
That's a really good question.
Remember what Ted was saying about that probe, Thanos? You're going to have a cigar-shaped spacecraft right up your ass. That's how fucked you are. It's the government, right? They distract us from everything they don't want to see. They're the master magicians. Sleight of hand,
But with
distract you.
aliens, you know like how far of a stretch that is? And the fact that people are being distracted by it too.
Well, they've already tried everything else, right? I mean, they distracted us for years with a deadly disease that was, in the injection and, all that stuff. And then, they've been distracting us for several years with the whole Trump conspiracy. And
All right, man. This is an alien video, not
right. So I mean, the government uses distractions, right, to keep you focused on things when they got other things going on that they don't want you focused on. So I believe that these hearings and stuff, although they might be okay to help get some of the information out there to people that haven't been paying attention, I don't think they serve any purpose in the actual government themselves if all the things that have been reported in the past have actually happened, because the government already knows all this stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all think Dr. Greer's disclosure project is legit or cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs?
It's all a distraction. That's what we're saying.
Yeah. I mean, they've been fighting. I mean, I guess if the purpose of these councils and meetings and stuff is to decide how much we're actually going to release to the public and getting the public unedited, reports and stuff, I think it's a good thing. But ultimately, if it's just for the government to decide what to do, it's pointless because the government already knows what to do. And if the government
What
knows
I'm saying is that it's really just trying to distract people from the fact that there's a galactic federation that is trying to control us, and we are not part of it for some reason, and that's annoying, isn't it? I would be the senator of I am the Senate, honestly. That's what I'd become. And I would completely control the narrative of what's going on if I had access to that Senate, but apparently no, because we're just normal people. I want to go out into the Federation place and stand in the middle of the place and like scream about how, you know, uh, Jabba the Hutt is an evil guy and we should kill him. Something like that.
Yeah. Well, if the conspiracies for the New World Order are true, right? And the conspiracy that reptilians are actually running the world, right? If I was a reptilian and I saw a country being run the way the US is being run by the old man that can't walk anymore, I'd be thinking easy target. But then you have places that are out there like the Palladians who are protecting us from the reptilians from being completely taken over. So it's really, it's going to be interesting to see what happens next because the Galactic Council, the High Council of the galaxy, the universe, is.
As the half-blood prince, heir to the Anunnaki throne,
What's
son
that?
of Enki, I deserve my rightful place on my throne. That's what I'm saying. But they are.
You're Enki's son?
I am the Enki son. That is my
That
last
son
name.
of a bitch owes me money for child support.
I am the heir to the throne of the Anunnaki kingdom.
I understand. But realistically, right? I mean, we don't know what's really going on.
Realistically,
So
we
I
have
mean,
no idea.
it could be, there's that conspiracy theory that the government's going to fake this alien invasion. So maybe they're just preparing us for that so we believe it when it happens, right? I mean, it's very possible. I don't know.
I know.
I'm not afraid, right? I mean, like if aliens come, the aliens come, right? If they're already here, they're already here. It doesn't matter to me. It's either way, it's just the way it's supposed to be.
I'm the beginning and the end.
Yes, and you beat the level. So show me your beautiful face that I gave you.
It was Enki that gave it to me, actually.
I know. I'm going to get my money back from that guy. All right. What else do you want to talk about, buddy?
I'm back.
I got to tell you, like I was telling you before we came on here, that I'm not happy because my Cosmic Legion shipment got delayed by FedEx. I was so excited to have my aliens in hand for the show tonight, and nothing. But I have
an alien.
I do have the coolest alien.
I think I have a cooler alien.
You don't have a cooler alien.
I have two aliens.
Let's see it. Let's see your alien.
We can have an alien battle. Howard
the Duck. That is a pretty cool alien. I got Hunk of Burning Love right here.
That's a good show.
Yeah.
But
I also have a Predator and a Xenomorph. Oh yeah,
I got a Navi.
Yeah, a Navi's a
good. But I have the best alien of all time.
No. I'm gonna go grab the best alien of all time.
Okay.
Are you prepared to be amazed?
I'm prepared to be disappointed.
1 second.
Clone War Darth Maul.
What do you got there? Darth Maul.
My Clone Wars Darth Maul.
Are you ready?
I'm ready.
Blow me up big screen. Wait till you see this bitch. What are you doing? You don't know what you're doing. I have Gomez of the universe.
You're right. You're right. That was
Best alien there is. There's no other better alien out there.
But it definitely wins.
He's got the muscle to kick everybody's ass, so.
He coolest action figure I've ever seen, probably.
Yeah. Even Superman he could beat up, right? He's got a power sword. Fur
Let's
boots.
not go that far. Let's not go that far.
Yeah. And he's got a Kryptonian belt, so once Superman gets close to him, he's all done with.
A Kryptonian belt or a Kryptonite belt?
Blow me up big screen is this channel's Beam Me Up Scotty. That's right. FedEx shipping time is a real conspiracy. Yeah, no doubt. I got a notice on Saturday that it was going to be delivered Monday. Then late last night at I don't know, whatever time we got done streaming last night at 1:00 in the morning or whatever, I got an email that said it was going to be delayed. So then when I woke up this morning at 5:15 a.m., I checked my FedEx thing and it was still saying tomorrow. So I was not happy. What'd you do? Where'd you go?
Because I'm doing the rest of the stream like this.
It's PowerCon season. Power swords are mandatory. Absolutely. I'm so excited for a week from this weekend. Oh, it's going to be fun.
A week from this weekend.
Yeah. Next weekend, I guess, would be the proper way to say that.
That's a good way to say that. Yeah.
I did go to Pioneer, so that's my excuse. You got your Zippo? Nice.
It's all broken. Used it too many times.
You beat it up too much.
Yeah.
It's a Zippo. You can't use them too much. I mean, I carried the same Zippo with me through 3.5 years of the military.
I could use it too much.
What's that?
I could definitely use it too much. I play with fire a lot.
Yeah, that's true. What happened to your camera?
This is my new angle.
I like it.
Thank you.
So anyway, that was aliens. So we should decide. Let's ask the people that are here in the chat, the 5 or 10 of them, whatever the number is. We're going to discuss like a specific, do a whole show on just one type of cryptid, right? Whether that's Bigfoot or whatever, or we could do one.
We're doing
one show
cryptid
on
first.
Okay.
Do you want to do cryptid first?
Yeah, we can do cryptid first.
No, I was asking you if you want to do cryptid first.
I'm asking you.
What
does the chat think?
Yeah, chat, what do you want to hear?
What do you want to hear? Do you want to hear more stuff about ghosts or aliens or an individual cryptid like Bigfoot or
you want us to go ghost hunting?
You want us to go ghost hunting? Loch Ness Monster. All right. How about Champ? Yeah, we could do a whole show on Loch Ness, Champ, and
sea monsters. We could do sea monsters.
Bessie, who is from is Bessie in Lake Superior, or is that Bessie's in Lake Superior, which is probably the same creature as Champ since he's in Lake Champlain, but they have 2 different names for him. And then there's the one from the bay up in Alaska. I can't remember his name.
We could just do sea monsters.
Yeah, for sure.
The Kraken.
Yeah, sea monsters definitely were real because why did all the pirates talk about them, right? And all the sailors. I mean,
hunt the ghost of Bigfoot in the alien UFO. I like that idea.
Hunt the ghost of Bigfoot.
But we can use an alien UFO to find it.
Yes. And we'll get one of Egon's ghost detectors, right? That has a little thing that flips up and detects where Bigfoot's ghost is.
Egon?
Yeah, from the Ghostbusters.
Oh. Is it the gorilla?
No, not not that Ghostbusters. The real Ghostbusters, the movie Ghostbusters.
Cartoon
Egon
story. Yeah.
Egon was the scientist one.
What's the gorilla's name?
Sea monsters are the real aliens, probably.
You ever
The
seen some of those
the
ocean
gorilla
creatures?
in Ghostbusters was called Tracy.
There's this sea creature that's just this tube of phytoplankton that is just turns into a tube, and it turns into this massive, like 60-foot long creature that just swims around on the bottom of the ocean, and it all mingles its neurons together and becomes one large creature.
Yeah, it literally looks like a tube, like
It's
those
just
old.
tube. You can see
It's like
right through it.
those. It's like those. Almost like
But
those
yeah,
toys they used to have
with
when
the
the kid.
water in the inside
Yeah, you just
that you
fly
squish in
through
it.
it.
Yeah. Yep. It's crazy.
Yeah. All right, so I guess next week we're doing sea creatures.
All right.
All
You
right.
do everything. I'll do sirens though, as they're my favorite.
What do you mean? Yeah, I always do everything.
Yeah, but you do everything except for sirens.
Your ass is gonna go to work. You got sirens and mermaids.
They're the same thing.
I know. I'll do the prehistoric sea creatures like Champ and Nessie and Bessie and
I already know everything about sirens, so it's not really hard for me.
and then we can do the Kraken together. And then you got the sea dragons, right?
Sea dragons.
Yeah.
Did you know in Chinese mythology that dragons are actually associated with water rather than fire?
Yes.
Isn't that interesting?
The Chinese mythology, though, right, is the dragons were actually all like from the sea, weren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why that's why like in their parades and stuff, the dragons are very flowy and look like they're swimming through the sky.
Yep. They're magical and they control the sea.
Hi, Ellison. Thanks for popping in.
It's pretty interesting, isn't it?
Yeah. You should check out Allison's YouTube channel sometime. She does like shorts that are like coloring, like He-Man and Star Wars. She does like amazing colors with pencils. Like she just takes a coloring page and colors it with pencils, but like it looks awesome.
It look really good.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Looks really good. Let's see what Jim's saying. Action Forcers, Helidopers, and Hexastackers unite for PowerCon. Want to see lots of coverage from the convention. Absolutely, Jim.
I'll be there.
I'm leaving your ass at home because you're a pain in the ass and it cost me an extra $1,000.
I would. I'd eat all your food.
And you eat all my food.
I'm going to eat all your food at your house, though. So
yeah, but that's okay.
I'm going to get a pizza delivered to your house and use your credit card. And then
I'm going to have my credit card with me. So
I'll find the numbers. And then I'm going to pull a Kevin McAllister.
Yeah. Yeah, Jim, you need to come up to the States and you need to come up for the whole summer. That way you can hit Joe Fest and PowerCon. My blurb is I color pages from old coloring books using fancy adult art stuff. Yep, that's that about sums it up. But yeah, so next week we'll do sea monsters, and we'll take a vote on next week on what we're going to do after that. So
I think a motorcycle just drove by my window.
By your window?
Yeah.
Why would a motorcycle be in your front yard?
Man, I don't know.
Well,
you know the people around here.
The road's not that far from your house, and maybe it was down Pa's driveway, which is right there. It's possible, right? You never know what's going on in that neighborhood. We'll call it Largo's Travels. That's right. We got enough fish. We got enough people. We can hook you up with a couch to sleep on for a week at a time, Jim. You can stay the whole time for free, except for the shows and your food. You wish you had a fish?
I wish I had a fish.
With those glasses on, you kind of remind me of Mr. Limpet, who wished he was a fish. and then he became
I
one.
wish I was a fish.
Yep. For those young people out there that probably don't know what Mr. Limpet is, I'll
The
let
movie
Mr.
with the guy who
Largo.
turned into a fish.
I'll let Mr. Largo explain who the
Doesn't he
incredible
fall
Mr.
in love with
Limpet
the
is.
lady and he turns into the fish? And then doesn't she turn into a fish and they fall in love as
No,
fish? What's that?
he hates his
What's the
wife,
movie where
and
that
then
happens? And they
he hates his wife, and then he falls into the ocean and falls in love with the female fish.
that's what I'm talking about. That's the movie I'm talking
Yeah,
about. That's what I just said.
she doesn't turn into a fish. He
I didn't say
falls.
she turned into a fish.
Oh,
I
I
said he
thought you
fell in
said
love with a fish.
yeah. He fell in love with the fish, and he
Yeah,
helps the
I know
Navy.
that movie.
He joins the Navy and gets his
I
real
know that.
wife Navy check sent for his work. I
I
know
remember
you
that
know
movie.
that movie because I cultured you with Don Knotts, but you got to watch The Ghost of Mr. Chicken and The Shakiest Gun in the West. Those are two good ones too.
I watched The Shakiest Gun in the West.
Did you watch that one?
I've been to my grandfather's house plenty of times.
Oh yeah. And you went to Grandma Deb's house, who used to have.
Wasn't he a dentist?
The Shakiest Gun in the West?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
He's a dentist. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, he was going out west to be a dentist.
I don't know the other one.
Don Knotts' best film since The Apple Dumpling Gang, in my opinion. Definitely. The other one, The Ghost of Mr. Chicken, he is a newspaper reporter who's not really well respected, and he gets sent to a haunted house, and then he has to go back and prove to everybody that it's actually haunted.
Oh, that's interesting.
That was a good movie too, though.
That was a good movie.
Reluctant Astronaut. That's another good one that he was in. The Reluctant.
Is that the one where the guy builds the spaceship out of his own stuff? What's that movie? The guy builds a spaceship out of his garbage.
That's with what's his name? Billy Bob Thornton, and he's the astronaut farmer.
Yeah, that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a good one too. But yeah, the Reluctant Astronaut, he gets sent out into space. He doesn't really want to go. So
honestly, the best space movie of all time, though, is Astro Smurf.
That's definitely that's a good space story.
That's a reference nobody really understands.
Especially considering they have to pedal power the spaceship.
Yeah, and then they carry the whole spaceship like 200 miles. That's where Are We There Yet? Papa Smurf comes from. Yep. That episode.
Exactly.
Is it much further now, Papa Smurf? Not far now.
Not far now. All right. So, anything got going on that you want to talk about?
I came up with another idea for a novel.
All right, let's hear it.
So, it's about this military group. I don't know how to write it though, because I don't really know how to write military stories. But it's gonna be. I don't want it to be like violent, but I don't want it to be like boring. You know, it's
well,
gonna be a military story.
Is it gonna
be violence? Let me give you the story. Let me give you the story.
Okay.
It's a stealth op group fighting to destroy an oppressive government that lies and keeps their citizens in like a constant state of unknowing of what's happening in the real world, right?
Oh, so it's like Kim Jong-un.
Don't say that. We're not going to say that.
Wendigo.
It's Kong Jong-ong.
Wendigo.
But yeah. But
Wendigo.
So it's about this
if
group.
I say it 3 times, they show up, right?
Yeah.
Like Beetlejuice.
You need a mirror. You need to look in the mirror.
Oh, I need to look in the mirror. Okay.
But it's about this group called the Sirens. I've told you about this military group that I've had in my mind for a long time.
But the question is, do you want to write this as like a combat thing or more like a Mission Impossible espionage thing? Because if you do more Mission Impossible, there's violence, but not a lot, right? It's just more action based.
Both.
So
both.
You could do it. Right?
I could obviously do it. I'm just saying. I'm trying to have a conversation. It doesn't really matter.
It'll be like the A-Team, right?
Yeah.
There's violence, but a lot more action in it. You know, maybe some fighting and stuff, but it wasn't all like just it wasn't all Mortal Kombat or whatever, right? Or whatever the Battlefield Earth, whatever the hell you want to call it.
Mortal Kombat.
What the hell is the damn video game that everybody plays that's military?
Call of Duty.
Thank you. That's the one I'm talking about. I had a brain stroke. You know that. I'm old. That's my excuse.
Yep.
I'm 50. You know.
I
I
need your
I feel
I would
12,
need
but my
I
brain
would
does
need
not.
your military expertise though. I
Well,
need
of
your
course, I can help
yeah.
you with that. We got quite a few guys that could help with that. Like Jeremy J and it's Chad. They're both still active duty, so they could definitely
Mm.
help with like some of the more modern, acronyms and stuff. They'd gladly help you.
They wouldn't be set in like a real world country. I'm thinking somewhere in like a fake island kind of Greek place, but not actually Greece.
Yeah, but I'm
Somewhere
saying
like
like for the weaponry and stuff like that. They like Jeremy. He rattles
yeah,
off all the acronyms like they're nothing, right? I mean, I used to know all the ones that we had when I was in, but that was 30 years ago.
30 years ago.
Um,
But yeah, I think it'd be neat.
so speaking of novels, how's Sleepless going?
Sleepless. Really good, really good, really good.
Good. Good, good.
I can't disclose anything right now though.
No, you don't have to. Just asking how the writing's going. It's going good.
Hmm.
All right. Sounds great.
Are you writing
And
anything at the moment?
no, I can't even see usually, so I can't
That's
write
true.
anything. I get done with working on the computer during the day, and my eyeballs are
Have you
shot.
finished reading Lotus yet?
No, I keep waiting for you to come over and read it to me.
I'm not gonna read it to you.
Jesus, Christmas. I'm gonna get my new computer when I get back from not my new computer, but my new computer screen when I get back from PowerCon,
Mhm.
and then I'm just gonna read it digitally. But I'm gonna have it on like a 47-inch television, so
That's what I do with all my
the
stuff.
font will be like 103. So I'll be
That's
able
what I
to
do
read
on
it.
mine.
I'll be able to read it then. Jim
Awesome.
says nothing wrong with a little ultra violence. I need explosions in the military fiction.
That's what Lotus is, man.
Yep.
Lotus is all ultra violence.
Lotus is definitely ultra violent.
Yeah.
So far from what I've read, except for the what's he say? Ted says, Luke, your father is old. Read him the stories. Thank you, Ted. I need some backup support. Allison's asking where you find your book again.
Where do I find my book? I
On
think I have one in my
Amazon.
trunk in my car. There's
His
a couple
book's
at your
on
house.
Amazon. So you can download it on Audible, or you can actually order a soft cover, depending on how much money you want to invest. Don't shake your head. No, it's your book, man. Be
Why
proud of
you?
it.
Yeah, but you're selling it. That just makes it feel weird. Uh,
Oh, I'm
yeah.
embarrassing you. You
Well,
got your
no, you're just
sunglasses on at
selling it.
night,
It's
so don't
disappointing.
worry.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to
Give me
sell it.
all your money. Give
It's
me
your
all your money
job.
right now. It's
I
not my
told you don't
job.
have to work so you could be an author. So you got to sell your books.
The book should sell itself.
Okay, but if someone doesn't know where to buy it, then they
Amazon,
can't
Lucas
sell
Grail,
it.
it's Lotus,
Yep,
Lucas
Lucas
Grail.
Grail,
Boom. There you go.
called Lotus Lotus by Lucas Grail on Amazon.
I've
I
used
know.
ChatGPT Largo as a way to get an idea for a story once, and it was actually pretty interesting. This was like a while ago before it got really, really big, and I came up with this whole world about this Chinese freedom fighter during the Mao Zedong Revolution that was called the White Tiger, and it after being trained by the Shaolin monks because their parents were murdered and they were orphaned, they went and started a criminal enterprise where they smuggled heroin and other opiates across the border to other countries, and they were called the Black Orchid, and that was the Chinese like criminal organization. It was actually really interesting, but like it was a whole I had to give it ideas and it had to give me information and ideas and information back and forth. Now you could just say, write a story for me and it will write you a whole story rather than you like actually kind of working off of its ideas. Like before it was a person to bounce ideas off of. Now it is a write me a whole book, which is interesting.
Wasn't the that was the Black Lotus, right? That was in Sherlock or
Yeah,
Black
the
Lotus.
black I don't know. The Black Lotus, I think, was the Sherlock thing, yeah.
Yeah, that was a cool story on Sherlock.
Yeah.
I wish they'd come back out with that series. That was an awesome series.
Whatever his name is, Benedict is too expensive.
Well,
That's
of
from
course.
Marvel.
Yeah. Well, Martin Freeman probably is too. He's been in Marvel and a bunch of other big shows now.
Yeah, but Martin Freeman's like Martin Freeman, you know?
Yeah.
He's a guy.
Yeah.
Benedict is too British.
They talked about coming back and doing like a 2-hour, like, movies episode thing, right? But it'll never happen.
The Milk of the Poppy has funded several wars. That's what I'm saying. Part of it was that she was going to be also part of the through something. She's going to be part of the political espionage group also. So she was going to be like on the side of politics and then on the side of the criminal enterprise.
Keep
So it
running
would
your
be
mouth, Luke. I'm going to go get a
a
cup of
double-sided
coffee.
story, which was actually a cool idea to have because it was like, well, first off, I have this whole side of this character that's all like a dark Cobra Commander kind of idea where nobody knows the identity and she's always wearing this like purple veil and she's like the Black Orchid. She was the Black Orchid or the what's it called? The Bai Hu, which is white tiger in Chinese. And she was said to be invincible because she killed like 30 men in battle without ever getting scratched. And then she realized that Mao Zedong wasn't a good person. So she started this criminal enterprise, not because she wanted to start a criminal enterprise, but because she wanted to fund her political stands and be able to have power and leverage over the dark side of the place. Like Red Hood in Under the Red Hood, where he, instead of destroying crime, he decided to control it, something like that. And yeah. But then she got too far in and she decided, and then she finds this girl who was stuck in human trafficking after destroying an entire human trafficking ring, and she adopts her as her daughter, and blah 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 blah. And then she raises her, and yeah, it's a long story that got written by an AI, and I don't know where it is anymore. Pretty crazy. Ding dong, ding dong. I can't run my mouth anymore. Sorry. I don't know where he went. Is he? Ding dong. Are you back? You're back. You can't hear me.
What?
You're back. Welcome back.
I'm back. Thank you.
You're welcome.
There you go. Thank you very much. Why did you ask if I was back? Where'd you think I went?
I don't know. Walmart?
Yeah, I walked to Walmart real quick. Just had to pick up a few things like coffee, so that's running low.
My mom has been gone for a total of maybe an hour and a half. Hour and 38 minutes, and she's already texting me how I'm doing. That's very kind of her.
Yeah.
I love to see supportive mothers.
Yep.
And caring moms.
All right. What else you want to talk about?
I need to go.
You need to go? Okay.
I have places to be.
All right.
Yeah. I know about White Tiger. Cool, very cool hero. Very cool character. Iron Fist is better, but it's okay.
All right. So, Luke's book, Lotus, is on Amazon.com for anybody that still wants to pick that
Lucas
up.
Grail. Just
Lucas Grail. You can find us both on Instagram at Luke the Lotus. And, of course, I'm Action Figs on Instagram, which you all know.
No, he's not.
And on this channel. No, I'm not. I'm not. I mean, where I got, obviously.
Not anymore. I stole it.
He stole it. So, yeah, next week we'll be back with Sea Monsters.
Will we?
Yes, we will. And I will be leaving for Ohio the next morning. So, going down to Cleveland to stay with my buddy in Cleveland for a couple days.
We will be doing a in-person live stream on Tuesday as well. I'll be at his house.
Oh, you're going to do it Tuesday night here? Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds great. So it'll be a fun show. We'll be able to beat each other up as we're sitting there. All right. Thank you all for watching, and appreciate all your support. Everybody have an awesome night, and we'll talk to you later.